and satisfactory to everybody.
What kind of options do you think will be presented the next time you sit down at the table?
Well, it depends what our mandate is when we sit back down at the table. I mean, one of the things that we've struggled with for 10 months is that the charge from the state through the governor was to come and reduce personnel by $25 million, and that was his charge through the legislature. We are taking a $25 million revenue problem, and by moving it into a personnel reduction, we have created a $50 million personnel problem. We probably need to take a step back and try to see if there's a different way to look at this situation. If the goal of our collective bargaining changes, then there's many things that we can put on the table. But let's just presume it stays with the personnel reductions.
Okay.
There are a lot of things. We could go to a reduced work week. I mean, the 19-day furloughs, that's the equivalent of between an hour and a half to 2 hours less work a week. But doing it in a reduced work week makes it much more affordable for employees rather than doing it as a whole day of lost pay 19 times. So there are many things that we can look at. And you know, we were fairly, we were less than 1,000 votes apart on reaching a solution. So I think the intent is there to try to help find a solution, but it has to be a solution that is for the immediate economic crisis and does not set a bad precedent for how we're going to manage state services going forward. That is one of our big concerns.
Now, I know last time the union was on here, they talked about the 4-day work week, the reduced work week, perhaps some more early retirements. Are these not viable options, do you think?
Those are things that we looked at very closely, but we're unable to quantify. I think one of the problems, for example, in early retirement is, and we actually did a spreadsheet of employees who would be likely candidates to take a retirement incentive and go out early. And it appeared to us that these folks were occupying critical posts, sometimes one-of-a-kind posts. One example is people who have a critical role in bringing on board a new financial system for the state. So if they were to retire, we would need to immediately rehire them or fill that position with another qualified person. So we would have gone to the extra expense of providing them with the incentive and really achieved no savings. Now, if we had maybe 10 years to run these things out and average savings over years, maybe it'd be workable, but fortunately or unfortunately, the governor's mandate by law is to save $25 million in general funds in this biennium. So we need to quantify savings that will achieve that goal now, not well into the future.
Well, what if they reduce the number of furlough days, 10 furlough days, 11 furlough days? Do you think that contract would pass?
If we reduce it down to 10 furlough days and that was the only solution, it doesn't provide enough money. That's why we were looking for a combination of solutions. I mean, the contract does, the tentative agreement did contain a 1-year step freeze, which is basically freezing merit-based raises. And we were looking at a 2-year one because that would have reduced furlough days more. But at that point, it was before July 1, so now we've gone through July 1, and that's been off the table from the state side. But there's still a series of things that we can do. We're confident about that. And I think the big thing is making sure that the savings that employees take actually can save jobs. And this is one of the failures of this process. We're looking for an across-the-board solution to help bring money into a general fund whole. And we have many, many employees. In fact, right now, as we're looking at the layoffs, we've got about 4,500 employees that would have accepted a 19-day furlough, and they wouldn't have saved jobs because of their funding streams. They have federal funds or grants or other fees. They would have lost that income, put their families in financial harm's way, and not saved a single job. So we really need to look at this from a new angle. We have a revenue situation. How do we help the state address the money that needs to be in the positions? I mean, because, you know, if I'm in a 100% federally funded position, no amount of furloughs that I take is going to save my next door neighbor's job who is in a general fund position.
Do you feel like the contract